How would you attack and defend in war with no heroes? Find out how these guys did it in Goggles' latest themed war event. What's up guys, Judo Sloth here and welcome to this war recap video for Goggles' latest themed war event. This one was an arranged war and was based on not using your heroes, so you couldn't use them for attack and they also had to be pushed right to the side of your base in defense. Now I have gone and revealed the score right at the start there. I thought it'd be a bit crude to leave that until the end. Boozehound's taking the victory on this one, but great attacks from both sides, so we're basically just going to go back and forth between the clans featuring attacks. As ever, I've tried to keep this video below the half-hour mark, but feature as many attacks as possible, and I will put timestamps down in the description so you can go ahead and skip to any attack that you want to. Now just before we start, big shout out to Goggles. Keep an eye on their website, they do have these themed wars quite often. They're always a heap of fun. I do have previous ones recapped on my channel, and thanks once again to Buckeyeguy for inviting me along. So the first attack is from the Goggles clan, and it is from Dranzi. I hope I pronounced that right. So he's taken out the king with just a couple of minions, very smart there in the corner. Golems down first and wizards to create his funnel, and it looks like he's coming at this with a GoVaHo style attack. Being very patient and just letting the wizards do all of their work, get a nice funnel created. Wall breakers come in and open that compartment. You'll see a couple of Teslas pop up and he's basically trying to get the lure at this point as well. Poison spell comes in. He does have a second one there which he opts to save. When the clan castle is all minions, I tend to use the two poisons on top of each other just to get them troops down and save the Valkyries. You'll see an example there of the new improved spring trap. Couple of Valkyries getting flung off at the same time, and the Hogs are already coming in from the northeast side. So you can see already it is definitely tricky without the heroes. Normally we had the king and the queen in there with the Valkyries tearing up the middle, but instead we just have the remaining Valkyries. Hogs are doing a nice job on the back end defences here. Heal spell to try and sustain them, and then we still do have one more for when they make their way over to the rest of the defences. Clan Castle Hogs coming in to reinforce the pack, and there is the next heal spell. Perfect over that giant bomb. They didn't go over the double set together, so that is going to be all the defences down, and it's purely on to clean up here. But as you can see, the queen looking very smug in the corner takes out that wizard. Hog Riders doing the best they can to get these buildings down. That Soul Valkyrie there as well is going to get them storages. And the queen in the corner with only a few seconds left is going to be the last thing that prevents the 3-star. Maybe this is a new strategy. Instead of builder huts, we put the queen in the corner so she can defend off them troops that are trying to take it out as well. Just messing, that's obviously a horrible strategy, but let's get into the next attack. This one is now from the Boozehounds clan, and we're coming at this with a straight up Lavaloon attack. No cleanup troops, no nothing. Lava Hounds coming in first towards one of the air defense and a couple of balloons to try and take out these buildings on the side. Now again, being very patient, not in any hurry because the defenses are distracted on the Lava Hound, and we really need to plan and use these spells appropriately if we're going to get through the whole base. So a nice use of the haste spell brings these balloons over the wizard towers. That's obviously a huge target to really get them down before the balloons clump up together. You will see there is a similar setup on the right hand side of the base with the two wizard towers. Now as the Lava Hounds move towards the next air defense, I really like the surgical deployment on the balloons here. Did use a rage spell to help get that little Tesla farm down, and an amazing deployment of the Lava Hound there to quickly get that across to the air defense just before the last one went down. The final Lava Hound comes into the northeast air defense, and again surgically deploying the balloons onto the wizard tower. Another rage spell to help get them down because they can be devastating to your Lavaloon raid. Really trying to push these balloons through the defenses as quickly as possible, but continuing to surgically deploy them around the edge so that they don't clump up as much. The Lava Hounds make it to the final air defense, just enough to take out them air bombs, and a rage spell nicely placed helps to get the balloons to that air defense, takes the last few defenses down. But look at all the lava pups we have cleaning up here. Again, the queen in the corner able to protect her altar and take out the lava pups, but there are just too many of them, and you see this huge group coming across is going to wipe her straight out. So a very nice Lavaloon raid, and there were quite a few of these actually in the war. I wasn't expecting as many air attacks. I thought we would see a lot of ground-based mass Valkyrie attacks. Another example here by Dan, the hero of the Beer Goggles clan. Now Dan does have a YouTube channel of his own. I'll link that in the description if you're interested in checking that out. And he did actually pull off a 6-star war here, so props to him. Onto the raid itself, lots of minions coming out of the clan castle and poison straight onto them, using haste spells to try and push the balloons onto the air defense at the east here, and then as they start moving around to the north, just reinforcing with more lava hounds and more balloons surgically to really try and get these defenses down as effectively as possible. Now it looks like we have 2 lava hounds still on the air defense protecting all the balloons. A clan castle lava hound comes across to the air defense right next to it and sets off a few of the air bombs. Lots of lava pups already cleaning up. We're using another haste spell to try and get the balloons back into the proximity of the lava hounds on this most western air defense. And back end balloons here coming in, just a couple to try and target the wizard towers. Unfortunately, the wizard tower to the right hand side didn't go down. That balloon was in a little bit early. It's not going to matter because a well placed haste spell is able to push the pack of balloons on top of them, and then again the last defenses are going to fall, and we have heaps of lava pups left over for cleanup from this penta Lavaloon attack. So well done to Dan. His other raid was just as impressive. You'll see the queen in the corner here isn't going to be able to take out all of them lava pups, and then the king isn't even going to do anything. So another nice Town Hall 9 3-star attack, and let's move across to the next one by the Booze Hounds. So again with this one, we're coming at it with a Lavaloonion style attack, but we're opting to bring lightning spells and take out 2 of the air defense first. So you'll see the 2 on the right hand side of the base are now down, and we only have to worry about the 2 air defense to the front. So we can bring 2 lava hounds in towards each air defense to keep them targeted. Could have maybe brought them in at separate angles to try and trigger some more air bombs, but it's not going to matter. A decent spread on the balloons will mean that they can get all of the defenses down as they are targeting the lava hounds on the air defenses. Another one sneaking in from the background there for reinforcement, but once these defenses are down, there's not a lot of damage left in the base to take them out. The main struggle will be the wizard towers on the back end. Now that's mainly because we've came in from one side of the base. On the other attacks we were coming around in that clockwise, anti-clockwise motion surgically, but you'll see coming in from one angle we have a huge group of balloons at the top here, and you can see the wizard tower is doing massive amounts of damage. So on the south, a single balloon was able to sneak in and take the wizard tower out. Bit more tricky to get that in at the wizard tower at the top here. We really need a haste spell or something to push these balloons very quickly on top of it. But obviously we used all of our spells to get the air defense down. Now this is a prime example of where I was thinking when the new bowler troop was released, we could actually bring him into strategies. You'll see the gold mine on the far east of the base. If we could get a bowler to target that gold mine, it would be throwing the boulders onto the wizard tower as well, and we could take them out on the back end easily. However, realistically, targeting the bowler onto that wizard tower and ensuring that it had less health than the initial building so the bowler wouldn't retarget would be very tricky. Getting a little sidetracked there, but let's move on to the next attack, which is by Venom of Beer Goggles, and he again is coming at this base with a Lavaloon style attack. So a lot of Lavaloon attacks. I promise I do have other strategies featured as well, but how would you attack bases with no heroes? I think it just becomes clear how much you rely on your heroes within your attacks. I think I would go with more of a mass dragon style attack at high level. Not to distract from this raid, we're coming in with a great surgical Lavaloon attack, coming around in a clockwise movement, and just making sure that we've always got a couple of lava hounds on the air defense, and then surgically deploying the balloons onto the defenses as they become distracted. You'll see the Lava Hounds are making their way around to the north air defense, trying to use rage spells to get the balloons onto the defenses as quickly as possible. They do get sidetracked to the air sweeper there, and then this little Tesla farm again at the top here. Couple of balloons on the back end to try and come in and get that down a little bit quicker, and you will see that because of their splash damage, they do a great job of that. Just to finish off, Venom is sprinkling in a couple of balloons to try and distract that wizard tower before the group of balloons get there, and it does an amazing job. Unfortunately, all of the Lava Hounds didn't pop, which means cleanup will be a little bit slower because we don't have as many pups. Again, the queen in the corner able to defend the altars for a short time. She actually shoots herself in the foot, pops one of the Lava Hounds, and all of the pups take her out for the 3-star and another great attack. Now we're moving across to Brian of the Booze Hounds, and I quite like how he tries to pick apart the base. He sees that the air defense are quite exposed on the corners here, so a couple of Hog Riders is able to take all of them out, and then we opt for a mass dragon attack to try and take the rest of the base out. Definitely a bit of a tricky setup. The last air defense in the south has gone down to a Zap Quake, so we're bringing in a couple of dragons just to try and create that funnel first, and then we're pushing the rest in towards the town hall and the wizard towers. One Lava Hound is used because since there's no air defense left, it will just sit in front of the dragons on the nearest defense. A couple of dragons are also used on the south to make sure we take the queen out and that we don't run out of time. You'll see that a defending dragon also comes out of the clan castle. It is just dragon galore here, but our dragons are going to take the defending one down rather easily. And then check this out with the Lava Hound. An air bomb comes off in order to get the Lava Hound, and the Lava Hound bursts in between that, so the air bomb takes out all of the lava pups. I mean, how unlucky could Brian be? But amazing for defense. You'll see that because the X-bows are pointed up, we still do have 3 archer towers as well, and that air sweeper to contend with. Dragons are wearing thin, so it's very unlikely that we're going to get the 3-star, but I did want to feature this attack because I thought it was definitely well planned out and quite an interesting one, and like I say, I'll try and bring you as many attacks as possible. Now again with these air bombs, this one goes off for the dragon, which goes down, it pops across to this dragon, and then the dragon goes down, so it gets nothing. So I guess that ties things up. The defender got lucky in the first place and then unlucky on that one. It's not going to matter because this dragon is going to go down, but a nice attack by Brian. So let's move across to the next one, which is again of the Beer Goggles clan, and we're coming at this one again with a GoVaHo attack. So we're starting out from the northeast side, a couple of golems in order to distract the defences, wizards in order to create the funnel, and then just sitting nice and patiently so that the Valkyries won't run to the side. Wall breakers are able to open up the compartment here for the Valkyries to run into. The barracks was a nice building there for them to lock onto before they run into this compartment. Out come the defending clan castle minions, so we're using a rage spell to push the Valkyries ahead of them, poison spell in order to try and take them down, and then a heal spell as well to try and keep the Valkyries up. A jump spell is then used to access the compartment with the town hall, and also that will mean that the bulk of the base is down and the Hog Riders can then concentrate on the outer circle. So just waiting a little bit longer until the Valkyries get into that core, and then you will see that the Hog Riders are starting to come in from the south here, whilst the defences are distracted because we're really relying on the Hogs here to take out all of the rest of the defences around the edge, so we need to preserve their health a little bit at the start, and then the golems in the centre can still do a bit of tanking for the defences as the Hog Riders move around, and we do have a heal spell for the Hog Riders once they get to this back compartment where the defences are quite clumped together. Also using the heal in that compartment, bringing the Hogs back up to full health, was wise because it was where the troops in the middle were starting to go down and no longer distracting for the Hog Riders, so the heal wasn't needed initially because we had plenty of troops in the middle distracting the defences. They do get through the base, and then we have lots of Hog Riders left up for cleanup, but again with the heroes pushed out to the corner of the bases, these guys just aren't going to have enough time to get through it. So unfortunately, the nature of this event and having the heroes right out in the corner is proving to be quite the strategy. On to the next one, another Lavaloon attack by MANvs.merik. He does opt to try and take out the queen initially, but unfortunately the Valkyries he had for that weren't strong enough. So he's just going to plod on with the Lavaloon attack. Lava Hound's coming in next to the queen here. She does move across and start getting these balloons. She's moving a little bit far away from the altar, but she does decide to turn around and head back, allowing the Lavaloon attack to continue. Expos are pointed at the ground on this one, so coming around in a anti-clockwise movement, lots of haste spells in order to push the balloons to the defenses that the Lava Hounds are tanking for. A rage spell right over the core here because there's quite a lot of damage. There's the Teslas and the air defense. The rage spell means that the balloons can get that down in seconds, and again the only real issue is going to be the wizard towers. So another rage spell comes in to try and push the balloons as quickly as possible to them. The wizard tower on the left is causing the balloons a little bit of grief, but they are going to turn and move out of its radius, heading across to the one on the right. They just don't get that down. So with the balloons fading and them going to clump together, it could be an issue. However, you will notice that one Lava Hound saves the day and just moves across, tanks enough for the wizard towers and then a couple of balloons to take it out, and then it's on to clean up. Had that Lava Hound have burst earlier on in the raid, it could have been a very different story because the wizard tower would have been able to take out the pups rather easily. As the raid progresses, the pups are going to move across and get the king's altar last, so another great 3-star attack. Moving across to the next one, we have Rick of Beer Goggles. So we're starting to move higher up the board. We're now on to Town Hall 10 attacks. This one is a 9.5, but still a great attack and tricky without those heroes. We're starting out the raid from the south, just creating a nice funnel, and then the Valkyries can come in. You see we have 2 jump spells, and this base is quite open. The Valkyries will be able to get access to a lot of the base from using them spells. So in they come, you see they'll be drawn straight towards that air defense and then into them 2 compartments in the middle. Out come the clan castle minions, but we already have a poison there, so they're just coming straight out into the poison, and we have a heal spell to try and sustain the Valkyries whilst the poison takes their minions out. The Valkyries are then going to go to work on these 2 compartments in the middle. Another heal spell is used to try and help the Valkyries get through that, as well as a jump spell to access the small compartment next to the town hall. All of them Hog Riders, quite a group of them actually, come in on the southeast, and then a poison spell is used where the skeleton trap pops up, just to make sure that the Hog Riders aren't getting constant damage from that, and the final heal spell was also used to try and sustain the Hog Riders. So as they move across to these final few defenses, they are getting protected by the golems in the middle, so they're not getting targeted by the defenses. The only one left is this archer tower, but with a big pack of hogs like that, they're not going to have any issue. Get that down easily, and then there's plenty of them again for cleanup. You'll also notice that the heroes weren't off to the side on this base, so we don't have to worry about the Hog Riders running all the way across the map in order to try and take out the altars. They are going down rather quickly there, but they are able to take the king out, get to these final few buildings, and wrap up the 3-star attack for Rick. So from defender to attacker, Special K is going to come at Buckeyeguy's base with quite a concoction of troops. He's initially going to lightning spell the builders running to the town hall, gets an air defense as he does that, and then he's coming in from the south with the Valkyries. And you can see the 3 remaining air defense are quite centrally to the base, so it does make it ideal to use a GoVaLo strategy and come in with back end balloons instead of what we see more traditionally now of the Hog Riders. And I would say if you can ever get the balloons to work on the back end of your base instead of the Hog Riders, I would always opt for that, because although the Hog Riders are quicker and they can help with cleanup, you can really target the balloons onto them air-based defenses to really take them down quickly and sustain the Valkyries' health in the middle a bit easier. So we've missed a bit of the start here. The Valkyries have came in, the poison took out the minions with the heal spell, similar to the last raid. Jump spell allowed the Valkyries access to the compartments with the air defense, and another heal spell meant we can keep them at almost full health, and then we're already starting to target the balloons in towards the archer towers. Once the balloons have taken out the archer towers, they can slowly move over the cannons and the mortars, all of the ground-based defences, and they won't be at any risk of getting taken out. Now Special K has run into a little bit of an issue in that the air defence in the middle didn't quite go down to the Valkyries had planned, so it is going to get a few shots off on the balloons. Nothing too drastic because it's more the air bombs here that are able to take them out, along with that X-bow and archer tower. And with the Valkyries running off around the side of the base, he's a little bit stuck because his remaining balloons he wanted to bring in on the back end here, he can't really bring in because they'll get taken straight out. Once the Valkyries do move across, he's able to bring them in, but some very nicely placed air traps from Buckeyeguy means that the skeletons take out the balloons and really defend off the rest of this attack, leading to a 94% by Special K. Still a great attack, I wanted to bring it to you, but also a great defense on that one as well. Moving across, this is going to be the last attack from Beargoggle's clan. This one is by TBU Icy, who is actually going to bring some fire into the attack with mass dragons. Now this is what I think I would do if I wasn't using my heroes in war. I do have a brief guide on this as well. I'll link that in the top right, but he's basically zap quaking 2 of the air defense, bringing his mass dragon attack in from that side, and then he still has a rage spell to push them to the town hall, and the air defense on the opposite side of the town hall can't reach the dragons in order to defend off the 2-star. So I don't know how many people noticed, but it was actually the new baby dragon troop that got the final blow on the defending clan castle minions. The dragons are able to create a nice funnel themselves and move right the way through to the town hall, take that down easily. I tend to use my rage spell a little bit deeper into the base to really push the dragons over the town hall, but it's not going to matter either way. We've easily got the 2-star here, so a great attack. So I know that was primarily aiming for the 2-star, but without your heroes at high level, you have to be realistic, and I think that's a great attack, and getting the 2-stars before going for any crazy attacks certainly is the right option in my opinion. So again, we saw Rick's attack a little bit earlier. He's now on defense, and this is KLEPTO of Boozehounds, who opts to bring in a few minions to take out the king first, and then we're coming forward with another Lavaloon attack. Now you'll see in the defending clan castle we have ground troops, and once that wizard is down, that's the only thing we need to worry about really. The witch won't do much. We have the lava hounds came in and has taken out the air defense on the south. They've moved around to the east. Rage spells and haste spells helping to push the balloons through the defences and get to that air defence near where the lava hounds are, just making sure that when we're bringing the lava hounds in, the balloons are well covered, and some of the guys in this war certainly did make it look very easy. So next to every one of them air defense, there's been some sneaky air bombs, but the lava hounds are obviously able to tank that. You'll see again at the bottom here, massive amounts of damage on the lava hounds, but that's what they're there for. The balloons are well protected, and a rage spell just over each of these corners where there's a few more defences helps to push the balloons through it, and you will see all of the skeletons in the middle there just left standing watching that single lava pup take out the town hall. And as we zoom out, there is one archer tower that the balloons amazingly missed when they first went around there, but they take that down, they go across to help with the storages in the middle, and then all of the lava pups are going to go across and gang up on the queen in the corner. So she isn't going to be able to defend this one, and another nice 3-star attack. So moving on to the next one, this one is by Tom1038, and we're coming up to the half-hour mark, so I think we just have 2 left. I wanted to bring you this one because Tom opts for the bowler walk strategy. Obviously he doesn't have the queen on this one, so he brings a clan castle of bowlers, and they're going to move down to the south here, and then you will see he has Valkyries and a few Hog Riders going for the GoVaHo attack. Now when I was actually recording this attack, I found something that I didn't realise had been added into the game, and you will see there that it is when you are watching the replay, you can actually scout the defences now, see the radius, see how close you were to something if you're going to look back over on it, and you can see just when the bowlers are about to walk into the radius of the archer tower here and get targeted. So nice little feature, I didn't realise that was even in the game. Back to the raid though, you will see that the X-bow actually held on with the tiniest little bit of health, and that's the one main gripe that I have with the bowlers, is that It's just too hard to plan the defences in front, hitting defences behind it. If they have more health, you're not going to take it out. It is very tricky, but I know we have had a lot of mass bowler strategies coming to light because of that recent update and the change to them. So you will see that Tom brought the Valkyries in from the west as the bowlers were moving round, made sure to take out the queen with them first, so very smart, had the wall breakers open up the compartment, and then they've rushed straight into the centre of the base. A heal spell over the core and a freeze spell on the Inferno means they can still get the effect of that. A rage spell then pushes the Valkyries onto that Inferno to try and take it down. Just hasn't quite worked quickly enough, as they do have to bust through the wall first. They do get it down, but then there's just not many left to finish off this raid. I wonder if another jump spell would have been helpful. Just tricky to know which spell to drop. We still do have a little pack of Valkyries coming forward from the bottom here. They do have healers on them, so they're able to get through their double giant bombs there quite nicely, but they are going down. Springtrap's not helping the situation, and eventually we're down to one sole Valkyrie, who is actually doing an amazing job here with the healers. Maybe this is another strategy, the Valkyrie walk. You'll see that she is doing absolutely amazing in the middle there. Unfortunately, just doesn't have enough time to get through the rest of these defences, and we finish up on 89%, but still a great attack by Tom, because without them heroes, it is very tricky, and I've no doubt that if he had them, it would have indeed been a 3-star attack. So wrapping up here with the very last one by Jonah of the Booze Hounds, and again I wanted to bring you this one because it's quite strategic. I really liked it actually, because you have to be realistic. This is a very high base to take out without heroes, and knowing your limitations, what bases you can and can't take, is massive for succeeding in war. So Jonah plays for the 2-star here and as much percentage as he can. So he's bringing just a couple of balloons in the corner, and using this new feature that I've found, you can see that the outside trash buildings are no longer protected. So a couple of minions are able to come in and take all of the corners out once the archer towers covering that area are down. So we're just racking up as much percentage as we can from doing that. You will notice that the strategy of having the queen in the corner again is an annoyance, because Jonah isn't able to bring minions up onto the north half of the base because the queen's just going to take them out. Instead of opting to use a few troops and take her out, we're just going to move straight on to the next part of the attack, which is using giants around the corners in order to distract the cannons, and a few wizards can pick up some extra percent. You'll notice on the southwest that a great funnel has been created for the Valkyries straight in towards the town hall, and we're not using the giant and wizards on that side because the Valkyries are going to get that area anyway. So we've basically made it to 40% just from using this strategy around the corners of the base. The Valkyries with the remaining spells can easily push in, get the town hall, push us up to 50%, and even gets us right the way up to 60%. So very nice, I thought, well planned out in order to ensure the 2-star quite safely and help the Booze Hounds gain victory in this no hero war event. So once again, thanks to Beer Goggles for having me. Another fun-packed event. Make sure to keep an eye on their website so that you can see when their future events are coming up, and you can get your name down on the roster to take part as soon as possible. But that wraps it up for today's video. I've been your host, Judo Sloth. Make sure to subscribe for more Clash of Clans, and until next time, peace out, guys. Stay tuned for more Clash of Clans.